Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Island Church Weekly Podcast. I am joined, as always, by Dr. Will McRaney. Pastor Will, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Good to be with you, Matt, and hope you had a good
Me too.
Thanksgiving. And
We
last
did.
week we got outdone. I think Stacy took over for us.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. It was great. Yeah. Big thanks to her for taking over for that. How was Thanksgiving for you and the family? Did you have a good time?
yeah, we did. We were in South Carolina with two of our daughters and three grandchildren and son-in-laws, and played a little golf. And my daughter hasn't played. I shared with you earlier. My daughter
Yeah,
hasn't played in 14 months. Hadn't really played in about 5 years, but
yeah.
hadn't played in 14 months, and she whipped a guy. So all I
Always a
can say
humbling
is I paid for
experience.
her lessons. That's all I could say for
Yeah,
her.
exactly. You're the reason why she can whip you now. So,
So that's right. So it was
good
good. It
stuff.
was good. They took care of the meal and stuff, and so Sandy and
Yeah,
I drove up and drove back, and
love it.
we enjoyed the time riding together and get that
Yeah,
kind of uninterrupted time, and so it was just good
yeah,
all the way around. And
yeah.
so you had a
Awesome.
little adventure, huh?
We did. So we ended up. We were supposed to be going to Madrid with our three kids, and we ended up not in Madrid. We ended up in London instead. Had some passport issues. Uh, God taught us a big lesson in resilience and making the best of a situation. And we learned hopefully a little bit of the lesson, but it was a great time. Yeah, really excited to be back. I will say I'm not looking forward to doing any international trips with three children under 7 years old again anytime soon. I think we're good on that for a while.
You're just braver than most people, Matt. That's it.
Braver
Braver
or
or crazy,
stupider.
one of the two.
I was gonna say
But
braver or stupider, one of the two.
that's right.
Well, Pastor Will, give us a little update. How was Sunday Island Church? What was going on at the church on Sunday?
Well, we had a couple weeks ago. I haven't been with you in terms of the
Yeah,
talking with our people, and
yeah,
we certainly appreciate Leo coming a couple of weeks
yeah,
ago and sharing just a remarkable story, and just appreciate him. And this past week, and I believe that was a very good crowd on that. And this past week, we were a little thin. We were a good bit thin,
yeah,
but we had a good service together. Our people enjoyed one another. And we began this new series on generosity on purpose. And I really
hmm,
talked about, if you haven't watched that, I encourage you maybe to go back and watch that. Talk
yeah,
about the reasons to be generous, and
yeah,
then what are going to be the rewards of being generous, and what
yeah,
kind of is the benefits, or what's the outcome of that, what happens to you, and then what happens to God's kingdom and to your family and everyone else as we become generous people. And of course, we're not talking
yeah.
about just financially, but that was this past week, and so it was a
Awesome,
it was a good service, and we enjoyed our time together with our people, and that was good.
awesome. Well, I know that series kicked off last week, and how many weeks are we going to be going on that, Pastor Will?
Probably about 4 weeks. We've got I
Okay.
may do the fifth week. I'm considering, it depends on how we handle Christmas in there, but
Yeah.
just trying to finish that out at the end of this year, and we're going
Awesome.
to be looking at being generous with our time.
Okay.
Then the next week we'll deal generous with our talents, and
Yeah.
how do we do that? What does that look like? Then we talk about being generous with our finances, and
Very
that's
cool.
right around Christmas. And then probably close out the series the last weekend of the year on being generous with our talk.
Awesome.
How do we
Yeah.
how do we talk
Yeah.
in a way that advances,
Yeah.
helps encourage people and advance God's kingdom? How do we do that?
Yeah.
What does that look like? And how do we use our
I love that.
words to help people and help our mission move forward? So
Yeah, I'm excited to hear that sermon because I've been around church for a while. A lot of folks listening have. And I've always heard, people talk about, generosity, obviously, with your resources, your finances, right? And your time, your talent, your treasure is what they always talk about. But when we were talking, kind of planning out the series, you were kind of telling me the vision of it. When you talked about the talk part, one of the things you said too was it's about how you use your influence, which I thought was so beautiful because everyone has influence, whether that's with your kids, whether that's with your spouse,
right.
your workplace, whatever it is. I just never heard that before. So I'm super excited to hear about that. How do you use your talk, your influence for how do you be generous with that and be a good steward of that? So really excited and hope everyone else is too to dive into the series more with us on that.
Certainly, it's going to be good. It'll be good. I mean,
Yeah.
we understand this is Christmas season, and we'll keep trying to. If there was a generous person, which we talked about this
Yeah.
past week, and it
Yeah.
was, of course, he's God and a
Yep.
man, both fully God and fully man. Jesus. I mean,
Yeah.
he taught us about being generous with
Absolutely.
all these things we're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. So besides the series on, generosity on purpose, what else is coming up in the life of the church with the holiday season?
Well, just this week, probably Thursday night. I'm not sure if you'll see
Yeah.
this on Wednesday. See it on Thursday.
Yeah.
Probably you'll get this very very
Hopefully
soon from
by at
us.
the latest by Thursday morning.
Yes, by Thursday morning. And
Yeah.
so Thursday night, the 5th, we're going to have our annual ministry celebration. It's kind of a
Awesome.
celebration of the ministry of this past year. I
Yeah.
mean, God's done things in the lives of our church. He's done things in the lives of us as individually in our community. And so we're going to kind of celebrate that together. We're going to start off with a meal at 6:00. We're going to take care of the ham, and nothing
Awesome.
like a spiral ham. I mean, it's just a
Oh
good,
yeah.
it's just good.
Classic.
And just if people can bring a covered dish. And we
Awesome.
understand some of our people are out. So I really encourage you, if you're around, make every effort to be there at 6
Yeah.
if you can. Then at 7:00, we're going to have just a kind of an informal time, but it's going to be, I'll be showing some slides and sharing some things from the year, because it's just a way to be encouraged actually in your faith.
Yeah.
And you'll say, gosh, I didn't know our church was doing that, or I didn't know this was
Yeah.
going on. And so we'll do that. We'll celebrate that a little bit. And then we talk about, we have a budget, but we call our
Mhm.
financial ministry plan.
Yeah.
Because what we're trying to do is finance ministry. We're not
Yep.
trying to just keep up with money. We want to
Absolutely.
keep
Yeah.
up with
Yeah.
it well.
Absolutely.
But the point is, we're funding, and this
Yeah.
is when God instituted the tithe. That's part of what he was doing, is
Yeah.
to take care of the people that were running the temple and to carry out ministry through that and through those people.
Absolutely.
And so we'll talk about 2025. And so we'll be sharing with that just on at 6:00 and at 7:00. And I'll be showing, I just got one picture for you
Awesome.
here for everyone.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful. I
So
love that. That's looking great.
the new building, and
Yeah.
I'll share it. We've got quite a number of slides on this. We've got our drawings. We'll be sharing some of those.
Cool.
And this is really going to be our mission outpost. And we
Yeah.
want to be generous as a church towards our community. And this building is going to allow us to be to establish bridges to them,
Huge.
and them ultimately bridges to Christ. That's what the
Absolutely.
whole thing is about. And
Yeah.
so,
Awesome.
you
I
and
love that.
will continue to work on this. So anyway, that's this week. If that's not
Awesome.
enough, then we've got something Saturday and Sunday. If you're
Okay.
coming and going in town Saturday, we got lighting Christmas tree. Just stop by 4 to 7, maybe 4 to 8 over at across downtown Terra Verde, across the
Yeah.
street. Not a whole lot of downtown, but it's our
Yeah.
downtown.
Yep.
So it'll be a big event, and it'll be an opportunity just to connect with people and
I
to
love
make an invitation to invite them. So that's just stop by. We actually, if you could stop by, particularly 6 to 7, if you could help us as we close down at 7:00, that'd be good. If somebody does that, if not, we've got it covered, or we'll have it covered. So do that Saturday, and then Sunday, Christmas music. It's December. It's already here.
It's that
right?
time. It's that time.
So we're happy to have again St. Pete High School's a cappella group, and they're going to come in. They'll be singing at 5:00, followed right immediately. They're going to do probably 20, 25 minutes maybe of music, followed by our own handbells. We're going to play a
Awesome.
couple of songs, maybe 2, 3 songs. And then Alex, that's in our church, she's a composer. She's writes stuff for the Florida Symphony, and she's just quite gifted musically. And so she's going to be sharing her talents on the piano. She plays multiple instruments, but she's going to be doing that. And so just be a Christmas time. The service probably go 50 minutes, maybe 55 minutes, something like that. But it'll just be a music, and kind of set the mood for and set the tone for Christmas. And so Thursday night, 6 and 7.
Yep.
Saturday, 4 to 7, just to come across, say hello, speak to people.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, we got our service in the morning, obviously.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have that afternoon, 5:00, we'll have the Christmas music. So
it is
invite
a
some
packed
friends.
week. Yeah.
Help us
Packed
come
week
along.
for sure.
Invite some people.
Yeah.
Let these people come
Absolutely.
with
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Well, Pastor Will, how can folks be praying for the church this week with everything going on, with everything that we're looking forward to?
Well, we want to make sure that we're just connecting with people. Well, Matt, they can just continue to pray for our community, and we're going to be breaking out this stuff, our business time, our annual celebration of what we're doing this week. And then we've got these opportunities to engage with people and help bridge them towards Christ. I mean, the reality is that people they're either in Christ or they'll be eternally separated from Christ.
Yeah.
And we want to do our part to help people. Someone brought the gospel to us. We get a chance to bring it to others. And so just think about your neighbor, your friend, that you can bring a special invitation to this particular time. Some people are not open to things of the gospel except maybe a couple times a year, sometimes at Christmas, sometimes at Easter. So make that invitation, pray about who God would have you to make that invitation to be a part of something that we're doing here.
Well, Pastor Will, thanks so much for sharing your heart today. Thanks so much for taking the time to spend with us. Thank you all. If you're watching at home, maybe you're on the go, maybe you're commuting. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being with us this week. And make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all of the Island Church weekly podcasts, sermons, and all the other content on the YouTube channel. We'll see you next week.